Packing for a trip is always a challenge. There's a constant battle between wanting to be prepared for every possible situation and the desire to travel light, avoiding the hassle of dragging around unnecessary weight. On my most recent trip, I decided to take the minimalist approach. I would pack only the essentials. No just-in-case items, no extra outfits I wouldn't realistically wear, and no unnecessary gadgets. My goal was to carry only what I knew I would use and need. The process of narrowing down my packing list was more difficult than I expected. I had to fight the urge to throw in an extra pair of shoes, a couple more tops, and backup toiletries just in case. But I stuck to my plan and carefully selected only the items that were absolutely necessary. Now that my trip is over, I can reflect on what I actually used, what I could have left behind, and what I wished I had brought with me. First, let's talk about the essentials I packed and used daily. The first thing I noticed while traveling light was how incredibly freeing it felt. My bag wasn't overstuffed. I could easily find what I needed, and I never felt weighed down by unnecessary items. Everything I brought had a clear purpose, and that made all the difference. Number 1. Clothing. Try choosing versatility over quantity. Rather than stuffing my bag with multiple outfits for every possible scenario, I focused on packing versatile pieces that I could mix and match. This approach not only saved space but also ensured that I had outfits that worked for different occasions without bringing too much. I packed 2 t-shirts, one casual and one slightly more stylish that could be dressed up or down. These ended up being the backbone of my wardrobe, as I rotated between them throughout the trip. A long-sleeve shirt was another great addition, especially for layering during cooler evenings. I had debated bringing a bulky sweater, but I'm glad I chose the lightweight long sleeve instead because it took up much less space and was just as effective. For bottoms, I packed 1 pair of jeans and 1 pair of leggings. The jeans were my go-to for most outings since they were comfortable and durable. The leggings, on the other hand, were perfect for days when I wanted to be extra comfortable, whether it was for a long travel day or a relaxed morning at a cafe. I also packed a lightweight jacket, which I ended up using every single morning and evening. Even though the forecast suggested mild weather, I quickly realized that temperatures could drop unexpectedly, and having that extra layer made all the difference. I limited my undergarments to 3 pairs of underwear and 3 pairs of socks, knowing that I could wash them as needed. This was a game changer because it significantly reduced how much I had to pack. Instead of bringing a new set for each day, I simply did a quick rinse in the sink when necessary, and they dried overnight. Lastly, I only packed 1 pair of shoes, my most comfortable sneakers. I briefly considered bringing sandals or another pair of shoes for variety, but I ultimately decided that a single, well-worn and supportive pair of sneakers would be the best choice. This turned out to be the right decision, as I wore them every single day without issue. Number 2. Toiletries. One of the easiest ways to overpack is by bringing too many toiletries. I used to be guilty of carrying full-size bottles of shampoo, multiple skincare products, and extra grooming tools that I never actually used. This time, I stripped it down to the absolute basics. I packed a travel-sized toothpaste and toothbrush, a mini deodorant, and a small container of moisturizer with SPF. The moisturizer was particularly essential because I spent a lot of time outdoors and needed to keep my skin protected. I also brought face wipes, which were a lifesaver for freshening up during long travel days. Sunscreen was another must-have, and I made sure to use it daily. What I realized was that I didn't need anything beyond these basics. I didn't miss my usual extensive skincare routine, and I certainly didn't need extra beauty products. Traveling light forced me to simplify my routine, and I actually enjoyed the ease of it. Number 3. Tech and travel must-haves. I made a conscious effort to limit the number of gadgets I brought, sticking to only the essentials. My phone and charger were, of course, non-negotiable, but I also packed a power bank, which ended up being incredibly useful. Having a backup source of power was a lifesaver, especially during long days of exploring when I didn't have access to an outlet. I also brought earphones, which were great for listening to music, podcasts, or audiobooks during flights and train rides. A small crossbody bag became my go-to for carrying essentials like my phone, wallet, and passport. It was compact but functional, and I loved having everything easily accessible without needing to dig through a larger backpack. Next, let's talk about what I packed but actually didn't need. Despite my best efforts to pack light, I still brought a few things that ended up being unnecessary. Number 1, extra t-shirts. I thought I might need more variety, but I ended up rotating between the same 2 shirts. I could have easily done without the extras. Number 2, a fancy outfit and heels. I packed these thinking I might go somewhere dressy, but I never did. My casual yet put-together outfit worked just fine for every occasion. Number 3, too many skincare products. I brought a few extra creams and serums, but I barely touched them. My moisturizer was all I really needed. Number 4, extra just-in-case items. A scarf, an extra snack, and a second book were all things I packed but never actually used. After we talk about what I packed but actually didn't need, let's talk about what I wished I had packed. Though I mostly packed well, there were a few things I found myself wishing I had brought. Number 1, a packable tote bag. I didn't think I'd need it, but it would have been handy for carrying small purchases or extra items. Number 2, more comfortable socks. One of the pairs I brought ended up being less comfortable than expected, and I regretted not having a better option. Number 3, a refillable water bottle. I relied on buying bottled water, but a reusable bottle would have saved me money and been more convenient. So that's it. I thought I needed all this stuff. But guess what? I barely used half of it. This experience taught me some valuable lessons about traveling light. Number 1, less is more. I never felt like I was missing anything, and having fewer choices made getting dressed each day easier. Number 2, laundry is easier than overpacking. Washing a few items was simple and prevented me from carrying excess clothing. Number 3, versatile clothing is key. Neutral, mix-and-match pieces allowed me to create multiple outfits with minimal items. Number 4, travel-sized toiletries are more than enough. I didn't need full-sized products, and simplifying my routine felt great. So was packing light worth it? Absolutely. I felt lighter, moved around more easily, and didn't waste time worrying about unnecessary belongings. The next time I travel, I'll refine my packing list even further. Maybe I can fit everything into just a backpack. This experience proved that traveling with only the essentials isn't just possible, it's liberating. And that's it. I challenged myself to pack only the essentials, and honestly, it was one of the best travel decisions I've ever made. Less stuff, less stress, and more freedom to enjoy the trip. If you're thinking about packing light for your next adventure, I highly recommend it. Let me know in the comments what's one item you always bring but never actually use. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more travel tips, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. See you in the next one. Happy travels!